I got scammed, and this is where it's led me now. You guys would have seen in the previous episode that I was in quite of an emotional state. I was going through a lot of shit and found it very hard to, come to terms with it. Anyways, it was only yesterday, so today's a Wednesday. I think the podcast I recorded was on the Sunday, so it's only been a couple of days later. I got a call yesterday afternoon from the bank, essentially saying that they had seen something suspicious with my account, this, that, or the other, and strongly advised that what I was participating in was a scam. Now, a normal person from an outside view, and I had talked about the missus talking about it, and my mum, everyone from the outside would be like, obviously that's a scam. I think a lot of me wanted to believe that it wasn't, and these motherfuckers got the perfect target because I am very ambitious and they know that I will try anything to get to where I need to, and I have a lot of like drive and what's the word I'm trying to think of? I know something's going to work out in the end, put it that way. A lot of trust. That's not even the word I'm thinking of. Like same with music or whatever, I've sunk so much money into it and I know it's going to pan out at the end. And I think because I've gone through that kind of thing, this was a similar sort of situation. I was like, just because I'm putting money in doesn't mean I'm not pulling money out. Like I'm guaranteed to pull money out. And even the bank had said there's obvious signs that these are a scam, and how they earn your trust and everything. They're like, bro, by the sounds of it, you're more on their side than ours. And that's how they do things. They play a lot of psychological games and they get in your head. And they do this to people that they know they can target very easily. And yeah, I don't know. Even last night, so this happened all yesterday afternoon. I called my partner later on the night. Again, just debriefing everything, like telling her everything that was going on. They advised that I made a report to the police and everything. Like it was very fucking full on fraudulent, like scamming and shit. And even you guys listening right now, like a lot of people are going to hear that and go, you're a fucking idiot. Like, how could you not see the signs, blah, blah, blah. And I had my suspicions, but it's one of those things again where I just put enough faith in it to go, you know what, fuck it. Like, this is the moment of me, flipping over. This is the thing that I need to take a risk with in order to get where I want to go. Was it? No. But at the same time, was it? Yes. The reason I say that is because even though I was at a loss and I had calculated everything, it was like, okay, this is what the outcome should be and this is best case scenario, but what do I do in worst case scenario? So I'd already like pre-thought of this before I even made any investments. And pretty much both of them weighed out in a positive way. Even though I am X amount of thousands of dollars in, not debt, but like I've, sunk that kind of money into it, a lot of people would see that as a loss. And I have been, quote unquote, struggling. Like I've been finding things difficult, but, I'm making things work. And there's been a lot of different steps into like pushing me closer and closer to where I need to be. But there's also been a lot of like a trip up a step sort of thing like this. Like I'm pushing in the correct direction, but I'm still stumbling on the way. And I think a lot of where this comes from is scarcity and willingness to do whatever it takes to get to where I need to do. And it's a very survival mode. And I've done a lot of debriefing. I actually talked to ChatGPT as well. It knows a lot about me through my crisis of like splitting brands and shit in the past, and all about my music career and the clothing line that I was going to embark on. It knows a lot about me, and it's helped me with a lot of different little things, but also knows a lot of deep-rooted problems as well. I don't rely on it as a form of therapist, but it has helped me quite immensely as well at the same time. And essentially where it's left me now is my partner even had said, bro, like, it sounds like you're losing direction or losing focus. Like you're constantly like, what's the next thing? Like, how can I change this or do something different? And you give up too easily if something doesn't work, which was good to hear because No one else is saying that around me. A lot of people just see a lot of the effort I put in, and that's it. And it looks like good work, but like in reality, it's not, because I'm putting efforts in here, and then moving to the next thing and moving to the next. And I even said that, like, I said, I fucking hate how my brain works, because this had happened, and she's like, does it seem like a breath of fresh air? I said, not really, because my stupid brain is like, okay, what's the next thing I can do to fucking get more money now? Like, what can I do while also building all this other shit in the background? And I think she helped me to realize that it doesn't matter how much someone says something. I always say this about, like, trauma and shit, or, like, going through a rough patch. It's like, it doesn't matter how much someone says something, you're not going to come to the realization unless you go through it on your own. And that's exactly what had happened. Of, like, she had been saying for a long time, like, you're juggling too many different things. I've heard it from a lot of different people. And my thought process is they just don't understand. But I think to a degree is true, because it's obviously led to all this shit. And so she even made me question it. It's like, well, what do you want to do? Like, I know you're trying to pursue music, but you're trying to do this clothing thing and trying to do this, that, and the other. Do you realize how difficult all of these things are, and you're trying to do everything all at once? It's not sustainable at all. And it made me question a lot of, like, what do I solely enjoy doing? How can I strip things back? And that's what I talked to ChatGPT about as well, of, like, trying to get into the nitty-gritty little things and make a plan. So back probably 2 years ago, I was a strong, resilient motherfucker. Like, before I had met my partner, I'm sorry for I'm not even throwing her under the bus, but talking about my relationship on here a lot. But she has guided me and helped me through a lot of shit, right? Before I had met her, so before I had moved out of home for the first time to move in with my friend, I met her on the same day, if you guys did not know that. And before that, I had such strong foundations and mindset, and I did for a long time after that as well, but I think slowly it's trickled further and further down. And we were having a conversation about this the other night. It's like, you can't be the reason that happens. Like, that can't be an excuse, because you are my non-negotiable, you know? Like, you are the person that has taken me this far. So for me to blame this on you is just as bad as, like, just giving it up sort of thing, you know what I mean? And yeah, we had talked about that, and she goes, that's probably exactly what it is, right? Like, because she's exactly the same, you know? When she was single, there was a lot of different things that were a lot easier to do on her own. Like, I can't speak. Easier to do on her own than with a partner. And for me, it's exactly the same. Like, the more time I have, I remember even in my past relationship, the second we had broken up, I fully locked in. I realized how much time I had for myself. And I did so much shit on my own terms and everything. And even with investing this money, that was another example of, like, well, if I wasn't around, like, you're going to do it anyways, aren't you? And I said, well, fucking of course, because I back myself, and that's what I believe in. I'm going to do it anyways. But I felt all this guilt because I knew that she didn't exactly want that for me. And there's a lot of little things like that. And I used to, I think I did talk about that in the last episode. Like, I hadn't cried for years. I hadn't felt anything sad. Like, I'd felt sad feelings and shit, but, like, I was in a very positive, like, grow mindset. And when I met her, you know, these things became more difficult. I became more vulnerable. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, they could be seen as negatives or positives. But it's just a part of being in a committed relationship as well. I feel like it creates two different versions of you, but the thing that's going to take you, and it sounds corny as fuck, but the thing that's going to take you further is love. It's the same with having this as a passion, you know? Like, the only thing that's going to get you to the top is your passion for it, is your love for it. If you don't truly love it, you're not going to get that far. And it's the same thing with the relationship. Like, if you don't truly love that relationship and are fully committed, then it's never going to get that far. And so you got to use that as like a superpower, not as a crutch sort of thing. So the reason I'm talking about a lot of this is, again, I had all these ideas and everything, and now it just feels like almost everything's been thrown away. That's how I felt. And so this is why I wanted to think on so many different things. And going back to 2 years ago, I was in such a better place mind-wise. I had a mentor and everything, and I was fully fucking locked in. Foundations were strong. I was propelling. I was going in a good direction. That has not happened in a long time. That depleted, and I feel like I'm back at square zero. But with that, I've learned everything that I have learned so far. And so what I've realized I need to do is strip everything back, go back to what I love, go back to the roots, because that's what I'm good at. That's what I enjoy. That's where I need to put my focus. And B is create simple routine that is creating my happiness as well. The things that I love to do, I never fucking do anymore. Like, I remember when I'd put my hand through a saw and I was off work for a while and I was consistently doing the same shit every day to benefit myself, and I have not done those things. I think like throughout my journey, here and there, I've done 1 or 2 things and then like forgotten about it again because the business side of stuff gets too far in the way. But I say business with quotation because I'm not running like a proper business yet. The goal of this is for freedom. And for freedom, what did I write down before? Freedom, focus equals freedom, and progress equals therapy. Without progressing, there is no therapy unless I were to see someone, and that's never going to be beneficial to me. And without focusing, there's no freedom. So the focus needed to be redirected. I was thinking I wasn't focused on anything. I was just doing a bunch of shit. And in order to focus deeply, I need to strip everything back, make it as simple as possible, do what I love, be human, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm too early on in my journey to be doing as much as I'm doing because I don't have the foundations in place. And I think I just jumped the gun and thought that I was further ahead than I was when I'm really not. So, yeah, bro, it's been an interesting roller coaster. I'll talk about the phases of what my plan is. So, I had mentioned before this clothing line. I still don't know yet whether that's going to be separate or going to tie into my merchandise as an artist, and everything falls under the brand of Tiga. I don't know yet. I simply, like, as honestly as possible, don't know yet. But we will figure it out. So phase 1, there's 3 different phases. Phase 1, for the first week to 3 weeks, is rebalance. So stabilize finances, mental reset routine, and reconnect to art. So that's literally figuring out where I am, which I've been doing, crunching so many numbers for so fucking long now, so that should be easy to do. Literally just figuring out where I am, where I want to go financially, to get back on my feet, not necessarily to get to where I need to go, because I think I put too much time and thought into that to the point where I'm not getting there, or that shouldn't be my focus anyways. Like, the whole point of this is to strip everything back. So stabilizing my finances enough that I can live and create. Like, going back to the very end, I'll say the very end right now, is structure life around creating, not surviving. I feel like I have been on survival mode for way too fucking long, and it doesn't bring me joy. Like, I say it does, and I feel like it does, but not true joy. Creating does. So, doing all that, also on the side, again, I shouldn't be focused on this, but the reality is I do need extra cash here and there. So I've recently found flipping off Gumtree, so literally getting stuff off Gumtree, reselling it, or even like cleaning it up, refurbishing it, selling that just on the side. So I'm not putting too much thought or focus into these little things. It's not like full-on fucking jobs. It's not taking away from what I'm trying to do. It's just little tiny things on the side to help me. Number 2 was the mental reset routine. So specifically, no crypto-based anything, no get-rich-quick distractions at all, like no side fucking shit, solely focused on creating. Mainly music, but creating in any creative aspect. It all comes back to the Artist Way book I was reading before, bro. I don't think I ever finished it. I got very close to the end. I didn't finish it, so that's something else I'm going to put on my list to do, as well as just finish reading the book. Don't have to finish the routines. Just finish reading it, see where it takes me. Because I remember I got recommended that off of an artist called Doji. She's very big, and she said it changed her life. And me reading it, I felt like I wasn't in the position for it to change my life. I feel like there's many different stages, and she had even said she'd gone back and reread it multiple times. That is something that I know I'm going to do in the future, but I want to finish that book and see if there's any juice at the end of it or anything, because I feel like the core of being an artist all comes back down to that book. But yeah, so no distractions. I want to journal physically for 10-15 minutes every single day. So I'm still going to be recording these. I'm actually thinking of doing entries, like diary entries sort of things. So still do these episodes, but then even on the side, I will actually read my diary entries and shit as well. I feel like that could be interesting. So you get a full insight of where I am, and I'll like combine it, for like, it'll just be one video, one long form video, but it'll all be like throughout the week sort of thing. That's an idea I have. Walks for mental energy shift. Bro, the thing that brings me the most happiness, and I used to do while I was by myself all the time, was literally just go out for walks. It's simple, it's free. I don't have to fucking be anywhere for it. I can just put headphones in, go for a walk. It's liberating. Even, I think last week actually was the first time I've gone on a walk in a long time with my brother, because he wanted to go for a walk, and I need to get back into it, bro. I say it all the time. I need to get back into it though. End each day writing 3 things I've created, even if small. So that could be, it could literally be my work. Like, I create in my work. I'm a kitchen joiner. I literally build boxes. That could be that. It could be writing. It could be, creating a video. It could be creating anything, creating a dish, whatever it is. Reconnect to art. Set up small space for creating. Now, I've technically got this, but I actually want to niche that down even more. I want a separate spot. So this is my workspace / creative space. I've got a spare space on my wall over there. Through the Gumtree flipping, I want to get something off Gumtree, so I can literally sit down in like a mini lounge or some shit and just create. I'll get posters and shit. Originally, I wanted, even at my last house, I wanted to get like a walnut wall and everything and decorate that, but that's more costly, and I'm trying to keep costs low right now. Where else are we? For 1 hour a day, make music purely for yourself. No deadlines, no release pressure. So that is something else that is a difficult task, actually, I find. Writing every single day, especially for an hour, because finding beats is a problem. If you've got any beats, send them through. I'll fucking listen to them. I'll try and jam out to them. That's a massive, writing block moment, is just getting beats, or, if you're writing every single day, sometimes it's hard to fucking think of what to talk about, or you end up repeating yourself, but it's good to keep in that rhythm. Let the fun come back. Go get minor money calm enough to create again. Literally clearing their head, clearing the finances, start at ground zero, and fucking start again. Right now, I had an accident probably a month ago now, or 2 months, whatever it was. Probably a month ago, actually. And I'm still trying to sell my car that I've got at the moment. I was still deciding for a long time, but I'm trying to sell my car so I can get another car. So that's a part of the finances while trying to get to the end of the year so I can start fresh next year. That's the goal. That's the idea. Phase 2, rebuild weeks 4 to 8. Define new foundations. What message do I want TGAR to stand for from this point? What feelings do I want people to experience when they hear my music or wear my brand? I feel like I know this right now, but the reason I've kept this as phase 2 is because in that 4 weeks, in that month's time, my mind right now might change. When I'm laying down these foundations, things may change. It may stay the same. I'm not sure yet. But I've left it there in case things change. I can fully fucking focus and work it out. 2, start the create era. Make a small body of work, 3 to 4 songs around the theme of rebirth, growth, rebuilding. I feel like a lot of my music is around that. The sound I'm trying to push out next year is a real feel-good sound, so I want to tie all that in. I feel like I can make something sick. And document the process for socials. Don't worry about virality, worry about honesty. I feel like I've been trying to mix both those two for some time now, but I feel like I need to fucking, stop worrying about virality. I'm gonna get to a point, and I think I've learned that through everything I've been doing. If there's something I don't want to do, I need to get someone else to do it for me. If it's something I don't enjoy or something that I feel like is taxing or tolling me in a negative way, that I need to get someone else to do it. And I've got plans for that now. I feel like that's something that has always been a problem for me, and why I wear so many hats is because I just try and do everything myself, and it's simply not sustainable. Number 3, plan next income path. Pick one of either. I don't know why I wrote that. Sync licensing, content monetization, skill collabs, features, etc., and clothing capsule. Goal: turn spark into momentum. So literally using all these baby steps to create a fucking walking track. Through that, there's like picking the income path. I feel like I need to pick one or two, because I think features is a big one, but you can never rely just solely on features, because you never. Say if you want to make this full time, right? And you're getting like $1,000 for a feature. In hindsight, like you make really good music and you're getting $1,000 for a feature. Is that still recording? I do apologize. My interface fell down before. I'm sure you heard it. It is still recording. But yeah, so if you're trying to earn $1,000 for a feature and you're getting one feature a week, it's still hard to keep up, bro. To do that, because then your target is other artists, which I don't truly believe should always be your target. I think you should be targeting people that aren't in the music industry. So it's a bit of a dicey one. Sync licensing could be cool, but I know it's difficult to get into. I know it's also good money. Is that what I want to do? I don't know. Another key thing I should say as well is I typed into this that I realized that I don't want to do performing. I don't want to be a performing artist. I will do shows and stuff here and there, but it's not something that I enjoy doing. So I'm trying to work out how I can do all of this without performing as much or at all. I've listed my reasons why that is in the past. So maybe opportunities will come up where I want to do them, but for the time being, this is planning all around not doing shows where a lot of money is made. Content monetization, that will happen within time. Always learning while I'm posting and stuff without actually, trying to focus too much on being viral, just focusing on monetizing instead. And clothing capsule, that is when I create my clothing line. I don't know if that's going to be a separate thing or it's going to be merchandise. I don't want to call it merchandise, that's a problem. So it might be the same, it should be under the same brand, but I don't want to call it merchandise because I don't know, something too cheesy about it. So first, we've rebalanced, we've set our mindset, we've set direction, we've started creating again. Phase 2, rebuild. We've defined our foundations, made our morals and direction very clear. Starting to create and put it out, physically creating story, and planning the next income path. So creating the story, and then on top of that, after that's out, then try and pick the avenues and shit and capitalize on that. Then phase 3, realign, build ecosystem. So this comes down to the funnel. I've talked about this in the past. There's music, which is the core. So this is a different rebrand again, bro. It's been frustrating, but this is what it's come to, I had to get to this point in order for me to grow. So there's music, which is the core, content, which is the story, clothing, which is the symbol, and podcast is the reflection. So you guys will get the scoop of fucking everything. I still want to get features and shit on here. People, what are they called? Members? Guests? Guests is probably the word. I want to get guests on this podcast. I feel like there's some people out there that could give some good advice, give some good juice. So that is something I do want to have, but I also want to keep this as a journal-based podcast at the same time as well. So working on that. A good fucking quote that it came up with was, all different doors, same house, Tiga. So all these avenues, even though I've cut so much out compared to what it was, it's the same house with all these different doors, so different rooms and shit. I think it's a fucking strong saying. Number 2, build small but consistent revenue streams. Push for placements for higher streams. Now, even when I talked to the missus, she said, like, if you're not doing... I think her conclusion was, like, people are going to want to come see you, so you're going to have to do shows, which she's completely right. At the same time, the main 2 options of earning money through music, the main 2, there's a plethora of them. A lot of them are a lot more difficult, but the 2 main ones are performing and streaming. Streaming gets you fuck all, though. So if you get money off of streaming, it has to be a fuck ton of streams. So you have to make really good music. You have to really market that shit. So focusing on streams, focusing on placements, that's a big one. Start a Patreon for supporting community. In the past, I've run something called Groups, which was actually brought up by someone the other day that I completely forgot. I still had existed. I don't know how the fuck they even knew about it because I met them later on. But anyways, starting a Patreon so people who want to support can support. A fellow YouTuber I have followed for a long time, Crypt, was actually talking about this the other day, and it makes so much sense. It's like he will market a song and like get people to try and pre-save and shit, but he'll also, like, that's in a month in advance or 2 months, whatever it is, but then also he will drop that song that month or 2 in advance on Patreon. So those people that are paying a subscription-based service are getting free music, bro, way before it even comes out, which I think is a fucking brilliant idea. You know, you're actually giving to the fans. I think that's so smart. Drop capsule number 1, new beginnings. Once I feel back in the flow, it's literally my comeback statement. I could talk about that for a while. So yeah, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna tease you guys. This is new beginnings is gonna be like the launch of the clothing that I want to bring, but I'm gonna need to build this audience. I'm gonna need to do all this shit until I can get to this point. This does say in 3 months plus, so after 3 months I'm gonna start fucking working on it and then push like to actually get this drop out. I'm really excited for that. There's also actual merch coming, so there'll be like the actual baseline, and then there'll be a limited supply. It's all, that's an exciting part that I'm actually looking forward to. Number 3, keep the mindset. The most important part. No shortcuts. I've learned that. Focus equals freedom. Progress equals therapy. Again, I will restate. Goal, structure life around creating, not surviving. Bro, I'm a creator. I'm an artist. An artist doesn't necessarily even mean music. It just means a creator. I feel like there's one within all of us, some stronger than others. But I need to re-tap back into that shit, bro, because it's been too long. Like, I forgot the essence of what I actually enjoy doing, and I need to grow and remember. I need to remember where the fuck I came from, what I enjoy doing, what started all this, and go back to that, bro, in order to grow. If I don't go back to that shit, then I'm never gonna grow. This is why it's so important to remember, document. Like, I remember someone saying to me, they're like, I don't want to hear about your past, bro, like, because that's not you now. Like, forget about your past, continue going. It's like, but no, I can't push to where I want to get if I don't remember. If I don't remember where I was and I ignore that past, then I'm never going to get to my future, or the future that I want to build. I need to remember that so I don't repeat it, so I can learn from it and fucking move forward. Wow. Anyways, I didn't expect this to be such a juicy full-on episode, to be honest. I tried to move this setup ever so slightly. You're still in my studio space. There's dirty dishes. The light's on. It looks a bit different. You can see the plants and stuff up there. Actually, I've got a plant that I've been slack on trying to keep alive. It's bad. That's where my whole direction's gone. It's been dying because I haven't been taking care of myself or what I'm working towards. And that's been a perfect sign of that, bro. I need to put more mulch in it. I need to re-water it. I need to make sure it's got light. Same with all this shit, bro. And just keep it simple. Keep it as simple as taking care of a plant, bro. Wow, that's some symbolic shit. But anyways, if you guys did like this, please like, please subscribe, please share around as well. I know I've talked about different stages of this, and I've said this is a new start. Even the podcast was a new start to all of this, but this truly is a start to all of this. I'm not going to put expectation on anything. I'm just going to create, I'm going to put out, I'm going to try and fulfill myself and bring help to other people. That is my main goal. I think the biggest problem is always trying to be, I'm not fucking progressing, how do I, do more viral shit to actually fucking push me further, but just been looking at it all wrong, bro. And I'm aware of that now, so, yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, and peace.